Hey everybody, Brett from AstartesGaming here, back with another episode of our Total War Rome 2 Roman Empire campaign Let's Play. So, after the fall of Massilia in the last episode, we find ourselves in a situation where we might have the first real threat to Rome itself. So, the Arverni, this Celtic tribe up here that's managed to amass a lot of territory in Gaul. In fact, they've almost conquered the entirety of it. Were able to drive us out of Massilia, defeating the city garrison as well as a small sort of token force that I had left up here while we were campaigning in the south. And through overrunning that, have basically opened the doorway into Italy. So we have no armies up here at the moment. That means that the only thing standing in their way is going to be the garrisons in these cities. And it looks like they're sending a full stack army at Auxilia here, and there's very little I can do to stop them. So we'll probably have to concede this for the time being. My only real recourse here is going to be to get this legion done with business in Syracuse as soon as possible, and then sailing them up to sort of meet whatever force they're sending south. Additionally, we have our navy here that is still undergoing repairs, but once they are fully repaired, we will want to have them come up here and start harassing these guys, because one of their main methods of deploying their armies appears to be sailing out of the port here. They don't really have a navy of their own. This is, I think, the extent of it. So if we can blockade them, they'll have a hard time moving troops around. All they can really do is march into Cisalpine Gaul here and hope that they can win some victories against my settlements, which eventually the attrition that they suffer from those garrisons will be enough to slow them down, and by that time hopefully we'll have a couple of legions up there to defeat them. In the south, in Africa, where we've been campaigning, we also lost Joel here to this army from the Punic League, which is of course Carthage plus their former vassal state Nova Carthago, so they've just combined. And we have a rather large army that we need to deal with here. Luckily we have a legion ready to handle it. They have suffered some attrition from marching through the desert, but they will be just fine, I wager. They have 2 slots left, so we'll probably go ahead and add some, let's make it cavalry, just to fill that out. I'll upgrade them too, but I don't know that we'll keep these long term. But we have the income right now to throw at some mercenaries, so I figure what the hell. That gets us to a full 20 out of 20. We'll go attack them and take the settlement shortly after. Once we've secured this, I'll probably give it a couple turns for them to replenish and for the garrison itself here to replenish. And from there I might have them sail and take this and just remove the Punic League as a threat entirely. They do still have land over here, but that is not going to allow them to contest anything in Africa. And eventually our conquests here will push us through there to deal with it. So I think we'll be okay. Speaking of which, we have 2 legions, 1 full legion, which has suffered a lot of attrition, and a sort of half legion that are, again, besieging Gadria. We will take Gadria this turn and probably rest there for a little bit, especially so that these guys can replenish. What is this about? Oh, we have a tradition. Okay, we should probably do that. Is there a new tradition that we might want? This is going to give our infantry, only our heavy infantry, 6 melee attack and 6 melee defense. 6%. That's pretty good, but it is only going to affect the heavy infantry, though us being Romans, that's kind of all we ever use. Missile units, I don't know about that. This is going to do or give 3% more damage to everybody in the army, so that's pretty good. I'm not running auxiliaries yet, so this is something we'll probably take later. That's probably a good idea. So it's going to lower upkeep of the whole army and increase morale of the whole army. Yeah, let's do that. And let's look at our income here. So 73.26. If we take this, it goes to 74.20. So about, well, 94 gold per turn that saved us, and it will increase as the upkeep of this army increases with, you know, better quality troops. So since we're already here, and this is pretty much a foregone conclusion that this is going to be a victory, since we already won the other battle here, let's go ahead and just resolve this now. We'll auto resolve. Doesn't look like it matters what stance I choose, so we'll just go balanced. Down they go, and there's our foothold into Spain, or Hispania. I'll try to exclusively refer to it as Hispania because people have gotten upset when I refer to the entire Iberian Peninsula as Spain, because yes, Portugal does exist in there as well. That leveled up the general that was accompanying our main legion there. So let's see, you've got Concordia. Let's go with Strategist. And what kind of garrison do you have here? 10. So that's going to require a rather large force, but with both of these legions moving together, we can pretty much take all of these in a single assault without much trouble. If we're lucky, we might be able to move through Spain, or Hispania, sorry, quickly enough that we can put pressure on the Arverni from the south. Now that's going to depend on a lot, but we're only at war with the one main Celtiberian faction here, and then of course the Punic League that exists there. But there's a lot of smaller factions in Hispania that we are not hostile with, and we can keep it that way until we're ready to engage them. So I think that's what we'll do. Let me see here. You guys are at 20 out of 20. Let's go ahead and upgrade them. I can get more of them if I so choose. And I think I might want to, because a lot of what I'm running right now is pretty garbage tier stuff. In terms of cavalry anyways. So why don't we disband you guys? You are a lot cheaper, but I don't think that matters when we're making like 8,000 gold per turn. Yeah, these guys just aren't that good. They're not that good, so let's disband them. That gives me one slot, and I'm going to disband one of these Velites as well, because honestly, they just don't serve that much of a purpose. So we're going to hire both of these units here. And that's going to give us a lot more cavalry to work with, and then to make them even better, we'll go ahead and upgrade their horses so that they are even faster. And it looks like, did their upkeep go down after we did that too? I don't know. But anyways, that's going to make our army a lot stronger. I could have added some into this force as well, but I don't think that's necessary. What I probably should have done is, rather than disbanding the Velites, put them in this army. But oh well, too late for that now. So let's give them a bit of time to rest, and then Kartuba is our next target. It looks like they are moving just the king down here. He will not be able to defeat the garrison in Migdol by himself. And I don't believe he'll be able to recruit on that journey. So unless he gets a bunch of mercenary ships somehow, I don't see him being able to do anything to that. Alright, so next up is going to be this here. We already got our mercenaries there, though I would like to replace those as soon as possible. Let's attack the army itself first. That'll draw any forces in there out, so that they can't just hole up inside the city. And this is pretty one-sided, but I don't like auto-resolving all the battles all the time, because I know that's what a lot of people watch Total War videos for. So we'll fight this one. In terms of numbers, it's pretty close, but our troops are just a lot better. They have like trash tier javelin men, and then really bad hoplites, but they have a lot of them. So if we can get in to the flanks or behind them, it should be pretty easy to dispatch them, but if we fight them head, it'll actually be a match for us. Also, they have elephants, which should not be an issue, and minimal cavalry, which could be, but since we have a good number of cavalry ourselves, I think we can spend one unit to counter them and have the rest cause problems in their back lines. So let's go ahead and fight this one. Alright, so we're deploying in the rain, not because I chose that, but because every time I re-rolled, we got rain anyways. So, that actually puts us at a slight disadvantage because my Velites are capable of throwing flaming javelins. The javelin men that they have are not. So we've effectively hampered our skirmishers' ability without any detriment to them. But again, I re-rolled as many times as I could and it was rain every time. So what can you do? I'm not going to do really anything with our deployment here other than move my Carthaginian cavalry up. We'll go ahead and lock this into a formation and start the battle. So they've deployed over there, it looks like. Let's start marching in that general direction. And I'll speed things up so I don't have to, let's go even faster. So I don't have to run my army and tire them out, but we also don't have to sit here and wait for an hour while they move. So the Velites and my Numidian Cav are going to have to dispatch these elephants. Should be pretty easy for them to do. The Numidian Cav especially because they are faster than the elephants, whereas before we were doing it on foot, which was probably not a great idea, but it worked. They have, again, a lot of hoplites, so a frontal assault is really only going to result in a stalemate. We still need to muster some sort of frontal assault because we have to pin them, the old hammer and anvil. We do need an anvil, of course. So we're going to have to decide who's going to be our pinning force. Oh, no, no, no. I didn't mean to do that. It will probably be... I try to fight these battles in a historically friendly way, but looking at it from a purely pragmatic point of view, the Triari are by far the best pinning force because they are the most resilient and they are spear infantry. However, if I'm going from like a historical perspective, the Hastati should probably be the one doing it. So right about here I think is good. I don't want to completely abandon this high ground that I've been given. So let's stick with it. Oh, you guys have flaming shot too. Bummer. We can't use it. So I'm going to send them forward to go harass these elephants, and as soon as we get into range, I will do a quick reload so they can just completely shred these guys. Alright. Oh, you're getting way too close there. What in the hell are you doing? Okay, well, at least you didn't take a bunch of casualties. Yeah, you guys appear to not be very intelligent. Okay, well, that did not work as intended. They should have just gotten into, like, minimum safe distance. Well, no, not safe distance, but close enough where they could skirmish, but not so close that they would, you know, get hit by the javelins behind. And I do have them in skirmish mode, so they shouldn't be getting so close that they could get hit by anything, but they don't appear to be able to figure that out for themselves. So the Velites are going to have to jump in on that as well. Come on, go ahead and throw. You guys need to move. Okay, there we go. That's been dispatched. Go ahead and reform our lines. You guys need to get back into formation as well. That's going to give us a pretty big advantage in terms of morale too, because they're a lot more likely to break now that their general is gone. And of course, with the elephants off the battlefield, they've lost their biggest threat too. So Triari, let's get ready to march you. I thought I got all four of them, I guess not. March you straight on, like so. And I'm going to take 2 units of Principes, march them to one flank and the other flank, and then the Hastati are going to move up behind that. You guys can hold for the time being, but you're going to advance behind them. Let's see. I'm going to let the Triari get out in front. And then I'll tell these guys to run again. What are you up to? That's a very interesting choice. But I won't tell them how to play the game. Alright, come on. Get moving faster. As soon as the Triari clear everybody else, yeah, we'll tell them to run now. Cavalry, start working your way to the flanks, please. And Velites, you can kind of pull up behind them, I guess. Let's see if these slingers decide to retreat or if they're just going to get hit by this wave of heavy spearmen. Okay, they are going to retreat. Now then, I need you to... Yeah, that's fine, I suppose. The Hastati beat the Principes. Okay. No, I need you guys to not do that. The reason I want the Hastati flanking is because they're a lot faster than the the Principes, as you can see by the fact that they outran them. Okay, why don't you work around behind them now? You guys are still working on... Why didn't they go full speed? That's weird. Try to get in there, please. Do what you can. So they've engaged us head on, which is totally fine by me. They've actually come to meet my... Come on, go. What are you waiting for? Get in there. They've actually come to meet the Triari, which is exactly what we could have hoped for. Because now, they've got a bunch of stuff in their back line that is just completely vulnerable. Both of you, do me a favor and skirmish with the general unit. Or not the general unit, but that elite unit there. Why don't you come smash into those slingers? Did you idiots really get yourselves caught? Okay, well I need you to break out of that. I'm pretty sure Principes can handle javelin men. I need you guys to be my flanking force, so get moving. And I thought I told you to like do literally anything else. You guys are standing around too much. Get in there. And General, why don't you just watch up on the hill? Let's see. Go ahead and skirmish with them. Everybody, yeah, just throw your javelins in there, please. Battle's turning in our favor. Yeah, that's sort of to be expected. We'd be pretty remiss if we lost this. Carthaginian Cav, I don't know, do something. Doesn't matter. Just get involved. Okay, we got those noble horse pinned, it looks like. Why don't you come in here? Probably regret taking them off of skirmish mode, but I'm going to do it. Let's put one of you there and the other one here. You guys need to move up to continue engaging, if you don't mind. You should not be moving. Okay, they're starting to break. Somebody used up all their ammo. It's you guys. Why don't you start running stuff down? If there is indeed anything to run down. Probably not, but we'll see. I mean, not a lot of them have broken yet. But there we go. Completely destroyed. Yeah, they're giving up at this point. So was that you guys that were out of ammo? Yeah. Go after that. I'm going to try to, again, run down everybody that I can because I don't want them to have an army left over that I have to deal with in any way, shape, or form. So, I will take care of that very quickly and see you guys in a moment. Okay, I think that's as much as I can possibly get. Unfortunately, in Rome 2, there's no... Like, it doesn't work the same way that newer Total War games do, where you can zoom out for, like, a map view rather than just sort of like the battle cam we have here. And it also doesn't end the battle when you completely destroy everything. So until I decide to end the battle, it just continues to go. And it also doesn't show unit markers after a unit has been routed. So it's very difficult to clean up the map in the same way that you can in newer Total War games, but I've done the best that I can. Okay, so that should be that army completely destroyed. Oh, it looks like we did miss some javelins, unfortunately. But, oh, I will take that 2,000 gold. They're going to run off, which is unfortunate. I don't have enough movement to go after them and attack this, so let's just take this for now. So that's ours once again, and that will allow us to replenish very quickly. I do need to fix everything here because it's been completely demolished. But we should have plenty of money next turn to do that. Did I not get 2,000 gold for doing what I just did? Because it said 1,800 or so, and I have a lot less than that. Whatever. Yeah, so we'll let them rest, but I probably will need to attack these guys on the following turn, or they'll just continue to be a hassle. You should probably go help us in Hispania. And let's see, what else do we have going on? I have one spy up here that's currently stealing food from this territory, just to harass them a little bit, I guess. They are actually losing food in this province. We can't see Tolosa, but Massalia is at a -6. We're contributing something to that, but that will slow their replenishment here, if nothing else. What else do we have going on? You are not doing your job. I hate that it does that. I don't remember what the timetable is, but I think it's like 10 turns or something. They'll stop doing this, but the game doesn't give you any indication to that, and it doesn't tell you when they stop. So you just have to keep checking them to make sure they're doing something. Otherwise, they're basically just standing around doing nothing. +1 line of sight. Neither of those is particularly helpful for you anyway. Okay, so we need a new skill tree here, or trait choice, whatever, because we've maxed out the first two. So what would be worth taking? That's only going to be effective if he's deployed in a hostile region. This will increase the wealth of the local region, however it will decrease loyalty of the political party that holds it. I don't know how that works because there's no way to really tell which political party holds what. I know, like, for example, if we click on this house here, it says that they hold 3 regions, but I don't know of any way to determine which 3 regions those are. So it's kind of dumb. I assume the capital belongs to me, but I have no way of knowing that for sure. So it's entirely possible that that skill has no downside so long as he's deployed in the capital, but it's entirely possible that it does, and I just don't know, and I have no way of determining it. So if you know how to find out which, because this is fairly new stuff that's been added, so I, in my hundreds of hours of playing this game, haven't come across it because it was added by the updates that came out very recently. But if you know how to determine which regions the political parties hold, please let me know, because it does tell you how many, but it doesn't tell you which ones. Therefore, I don't know if this benefits us or not. That's only good in a parent army. +5 to diplomacy with all factions. How does that work? Huh. I guess we can try that. I don't know what else we would take. This will increase loyalty to political party ruling this region, but it will cost us money, a lot of money actually. Cultural conversion in local province, but this is 100% Latin, so I don't care about that. Yeah, I'm struggling to decide what to take. Most of these red ones are stuff that you would give if this patrician was accompanying a conquering army, which this guy is not. The yellow ones, I think, are stuff that you would probably, again, if you were like accompanying an army. Which is weird because I've never really seen a reason to use patricians in that way. They are very good at making you money, and so that's why I just sit here and plant this guy. Because if we look at our income, I don't know if it'll show it here. Because, yeah, he's technically earning it on top of this, so it's not through the settlement itself. But he is effectively, like, what's this ability do? Increasing tax rates while helping protect local settlements. Yeah, but it doesn't say what percentage. This adds +9, and this adds another +15. So he's doing at least 24% of whatever the current tax rates are. But that's a lot of money, and there's some intrinsic value to it already. I think it's this one. Or no, maybe that's just another 9. The point is, he's making a lot of money just standing there. But, there's not a whole lot of skills that seem to focus on that. And even the ones that do, like, he's giving us a public order penalty right now because of it. I guess let's try Embezzler, and we'll see if anybody's loyalty drops. I'm just going to take it once. So, did anybody go down by 5? No. But I'll check again on the following turn and see if it changed. If not, we can assume that I hold Rome, and they hold other regions, I guess. Let me do a quick survey of the map just to make sure we're not missing anything. And if not, we'll go ahead and advance the turn. Ah, yes. I almost forgot, and this would have been a major blunder if I hadn't caught this. We need to take Syracuse and then send this legion to go deal with the Arverni. So, yeah, if I had skipped a turn with them, it would have been very bad. I'm just going to auto-resolve this. There's literally no way that we lose here. Not that any of these battles have had any potential for loss, but the other one was at least, you know, 2 equally sized forces coming together. This is just us killing peasants. So I don't see any reason to fight it out. We'll go ahead and just occupy it. That's going to level up our general here. This is the brother of the faction leader, not the faction leader himself. In case that wasn't clear. Let's see. All of these would be good. That, not as much, just because he is a general and isn't typically going to stick around for very long. -8 upkeep would be great. But we could also get even more campaign movement. I think we have to take that right now, because a lot of our success in the coming turns is going to hinge on his ability to get where we need him to go. So he's going to have to wait a turn. He can't move after doing that. But we'll have to keep an eye on what this general and that navy does. The general himself is not a threat. He can be a thorn in our side by raiding and stuff, but he can't obviously take a city by himself. This navy could take Syracuse if the garrison is too weak. So if we're going to move the legion off of it, we need to immediately replace it with a small army to hold it. And it doesn't need to be a permanent one, it just needs to be something. Let's go ahead and convert these. I don't recall what I had here, because we took this briefly. But unfortunately for us, they pretty much immediately overrode that. And I still don't quite understand how that happened, because when we took it, there was a garrison here, and I'm pretty sure it was this same navy just strode right in and didn't even have to fight a battle. So how they did it is beyond me, but they did it. I'm going to knock that down. I want to farm there. I guess this can be one of those. Well, I can't think on it, because if I don't build something, it's going to turn into slums. I guess that's fine. And... or I could do even more grain pits. Grain pits are pretty good. There's literally no downside to them. They just give you more food, more money, and more replenishment. God, I wish I could give it a turn. Just do that for now, I guess. Can't afford to convert that, but that's fine. We'll still get the bonuses from these. Oh, but no, I have to convert it. Crap. If I don't convert it, we don't get the garrison. You know what? It's fine. It would take 3 turns anyways. We're going to have to build an army there regardless, so we'll just have to do it on the following turn. I think that's everything. So these guys are going to need to immediately abandon this. We'll build a small new army there to hold it. They need to get just north somewhere so that we can sort of stem the tide over here. You guys are going to have to clean up that and then maybe take this. Though we'll have to keep an eye on those as well because they could be a threat to that. You guys are going to go to Kartuba as soon as this army is in a little bit better shape. So that's the plan. Let's go ahead and advance. Alright guys, so I'm not actually ending the turn just yet because, and this is full disclosure, I'm save scumming here. The AI is being a cheating dick, so I'm going to cheat back. What happened was I advanced the turn, we got attacked up here, in Junia, by one of these armies, and I was able to inflict a lot of casualties, but we lost. So I will, I'm expecting them to do that again. I'll fight the battle again, and we'll see what happens. Maybe I can do a little bit better, I don't know. But we'll probably lose that regardless. Over here, however, remember Syracuse, the faction with no land and only a single general. They hired, and I'm not joking here, every single mercenary available in this province. I did the math, and the cost for all of these guys is in excess of 7,000 gold. So basically it would have cost me, or yeah, it would have cost me my entire income next turn to do the same. So I don't know where he's getting this money from. They don't have land. They only had this province or this settlement for a couple of turns. Before that, they didn't have any land again, but they managed to somehow be pulling money out of their ass. So I am going to cancel a couple building projects to free up some cash. I've already done one, and I'll probably cancel this as well. Unfortunately, that'll reset that a couple of turns. But if that's how they want to play, then I'm going to just raise a general and hire the mercenaries and let them deal with that. Down here, I'm actually going to disband these Italian spearmen because I don't really care for them. And we'll get rid of a unit of Velites as well. Then I'm going to hire both units of Tarentine cavalry into this army because I think they'd actually be pretty helpful. I'll upgrade them at some point, but right now I want to make sure I can hire what I want to. And then we're going to raise a force here. It doesn't matter who's leading it. I guess we'll put you in charge. And he's going to take some more mercenaries. I guess I'll leave them the most expensive ones. If they want to recruit those, then by all means. I'm going to take these guys and the citizen cav and these guys. And I'll just disband them next turn. It's going to cost me a lot of money to do this. So it's not entirely cheating. But obviously I don't like save scumming. Here I felt it was reasonable though because, again, how in the hell does he have 7,000 gold when he has no income whatsoever? And they're suffering attrition. They have nothing. They don't even have food. But whatever. So I'm going to get back at the AI there, but we're still going to get attacked up here. Again, I'll do my best to inflict as many casualties as possible, but I don't see a way that we can actually win that battle. And on the following turn, I'll disband these mercenaries so that we don't go broke by having them. But I might kill him first before I do it, just out of spite. We'll see. So the Punic League is offering me a peace treaty with a bit of gold. This did not happen last time I ended the turn, so this is new. It may be worth doing because we obviously have a lot of other larger concerns at the moment, and they are giving me a nice little chunk of money. However, we're in a very good position to wipe them out in the next couple of turns, but while it would be nice to just be rid of them entirely, that might prove to be a distraction that we can't afford right now. So I'm a bit torn. I don't know if we should do it or not. And if I accept, I won't be able to attack them again for, I think, about 10 turns without taking a penalty to my diplomacy. And it might be longer than that. So I'm not sure if it's worth it in that regard. Because if I'm attacking the Celtiberian Confederacy, they are also at war with the Celtiberian Confederacy. That might give them the opportunity to gain some ground on the Celtiberians. So they could get stronger because of this. They'll certainly have time to recover, at least to a small degree. They are obviously at war with other factions still. And it would also potentially upset some of my allies because my allies are also at war with them, and we would be making treaties with the enemy. So I think I'm going to decline here, even though the money is tempting. I think there's just too many other ramifications to consider here to basically go, ooh, 2,400 gold and take it. So yeah, we're going to decline. I almost talked myself into it, but no. Okay, so this is a little bit new here. Last time around, they attacked me with a smaller force. Numerically, it wasn't that much different. I think it was like 1,400, but it didn't have nearly so many troops. And it was led by a mounted general. We were able, or I was able, to kill him because he charged ahead and was able to inflict some casualties because of that. But here, we're not going to have any such luck. So I think I'm just going to auto-resolve this because this is even more hopeless than the original battle was. Which is a shame, but there's not a lot we can do about it. So we'll auto-resolve the assault. Aggressive might inflict more casualties on them, but it looks like the other options will leave more of us remaining, though we're going to lose no matter what. So it's not like there's any chance of victory regardless, and we're going to lose everybody to the siege. So let's just do aggressive and we'll see if maybe it kills more of them. But yeah, we will lose Junia here, and we will have to put something together to stage a counterattack with. Oh god, only 133. Oh well. I think I killed about 500 of them last time, but again, it was a smaller army, so it would have been easier. Here, we would have had no chance to do that. But yeah, we need to do something, or we're going to start losing a lot of ground. They won't be able to take Medland with that force, but they could march into Italy and cause problems. Very interesting here. So the Celtiberian Confederacy just offered me 6,000 gold for a peace treaty as well. That is very tempting, because that is even more money and a major threat off the board that I can, you know, not worry about for a little while I deal with the Arverni. My concern is that I will still need to deal with them eventually, and the legions that would be attacking the Celtiberians are not really in a position to go after the Arverni anyways. So I'm not really sure what to do here. Because realistically, I could probably defeat these guys pretty easily and just not have to worry about them in the future. But at the same time, so is this held by the Arverni right now? It is. We would be trespassing, but I could take the peace treaty, march through, start hitting the Arverni from here, and that might shift their forces away from Italy. I also have a legion here that we can get to Rome pretty quickly, so they won't be able to take Rome. we'll have to counterattack in that direction. We also have that giant mercenary force here that I'll either disband or try to put to use since I already paid for them. But I am not sure what the best choice of action is here. So as far as I can tell, they hold 3 settlements, which isn't a lot. I don't have any allies at war with them, so that's kind of nice, because I won't take, you know, diplomatic penalties with them. But it looks like they did wipe out my other ally potentially, or maybe the Arverni did that, because I think they were here, so maybe it was the Arverni. I'm gonna do this. It's a lot more money. It's more than double what the Carthaginians were offering, and this being one of the main threats to us, if I don't have to worry about them, I can just completely focus on the Arverni. So let's do it. In hindsight, knowing that they were going to offer me a peace treaty, I probably should have taken the Punic League's offer as well. That would have been a ton of money, and I could have just completely ignored everything except for the Arverni for a while. But again, I didn't know that, so it made sense to just go after the Carthaginians while those two factions were playing against each other. But now that they've both offered it, it made more sense to take both and go after the Arverni first. Oh well. Our allies want us to join their war against the Kushites, who are these guys that have taken all of Egypt and are moving into Libya. I'm going to have to decline for now. We just have way too many other things on our plate. But that is something that we'll have to do eventually, because these guys have become a real threat. Obviously, taking Egypt is something we were going to do anyways, because historically what the Romans did, though it was more of like a vassal state, which is what we'll try to do here, but I just can't do this now. So we have a triumph. Interesting. Trade agreement dissolved. I wonder if they got defeated, conquered. One of my veterans ranked up. That's nice. Diplomat has returned with a generous tribute. That is fantastic. Oh wow, it was very generous. We made a lot of money. I didn't see what that last one was. Shoot, I'll go check it again. Hidden agent exposed, whatever. Research complete. Agent detained. That's unfortunate. And we get +4 public order to the local province there. Alright. So, you've marched into my territory again. I'm going to have to crush you. Let's spend our money upgrading these guys. I'll probably keep them around for a while because I really do like Terratine Cav. Let's just get rid of them now. Oh, we even got an ambush off because they were force marched. Let's see, 99%. That is not faction defeated. They still have a navy running around. We will, I'm just going to kill the captives because the difference in money is not that much. Then I need you guys to start moving, probably force march, but let's choose a research before I forget. Mercenary recruitment and upkeep, that would be pretty useful right now. That would be more useful like at this moment, not 4 turns from now, potentially. Attack for all units would be pretty good. More wealth from agriculture. We're kind of in like true total war mode right now, where all of our focus needs to be on winning these wars. So I'm less concerned with things like income bonuses and like agriculture, more concerned with like, can we win these battles? So I think this 5 turns, all of our troops will be stronger. You guys, I think, are going to be guarding Syracuse for me, because Syracuse needs to rebuild its garrison. They have 6 naval units there, which might be enough to... No, Brundisium has a pretty good garrison. They can blockade it, but they can't do anything else, because that is a walled city after all. So I think Syracuse needs to be defended. Therefore, you guys need to force march your way. Let's go by land, because it looks like we're moving a little bit better that way. And then you need to force march yourselves into Syracuse. And I probably will disband some of this stuff just because it is insanely expensive. So like these hoplites, very expensive, don't need them. Because they force marched, I can't recruit, but this is still enough to deter them. And we'll start adding regular Roman troops to this army. Let's also build a villa there before I forget to. How close are you? Oh, still got a while there. I think you guys were... Next turn, maybe? We can open that up? Right. I'd like to start building a legion up here too, but I don't know if that's doable just yet. The thing is, if I start recruiting a legion here, it's going to bait them into attacking that. They might attack it anyways, so kind of hard to determine. We have a decent garrison there, so I guess it's worth the risk. Let's start training another legion. Who are you? Papiria, Cornelia, Papiria, Julia. You're free, so I'm doing you. Oh, I should have reinstated the legacy. Oh well. And what can I recruit? Well, let's do that first. We got all sorts of good stuff here, actually. I forgot we built all those new recruitment buildings. I'm still using the old school Roman stuff for now, because it's still historically appropriate. So let's do 5 of you guys, and oh wow, I can recruit a lot. Or sorry, 4 and 4. That's really going to cut into my upkeep, but that's okay. How are you doing? Not quite ready yet. You guys need to do me a favor down here. Let's make sure that army goes away. I like how they were fortified and they still ran. We'll do aggressive, just because it said we would lose less people that way, which seems counterintuitive, but that's what it said. Yeah, we only lost 24. I guess it doesn't matter. There's an increase in rank for our general there. Let's get you back to here. You're going to hold out a little bit longer while you replenish. And then we'll try to send you after that on maybe the following turn. Let's see here. Upkeep for non-mercenary units. Yeah, why not? Over here, how are you guys doing? You still have a long way to go. You don't really have a good enough army to besiege that by yourself. And if they sent any reinforcements, you'd be pretty screwed. I don't know. It might be worth doing. How close is my spy? How far up there can you get? Let's let her scout it out first. If there's no armies in sight, then maybe I will have them start the siege now, and as soon as these guys are ready, they can come reinforce. Is that as far as you can go? The thing is, like, even if the Punic League comes over here, that would still be bad. Like, it doesn't have to be this faction's army intervening. It could be the Punic League, it could be anybody. But no, it looks like we're sort of in the clear, though I can't see very far. So let's let them start besieging this. Oh, right, we took the peace treaty. What am I thinking? What am I thinking? Okay, don't do that then. I might still march through here and take Abora, but maybe I should focus on... Oh, wait, no, I have to go after them. That's the same faction. So it's got to be here. It's got to be here. Yeah, I think I should have stayed at war with these guys. I kind of regret it now. Because that would be easy pickings. So is this right here. 0 garrison with literally just a general guarding it. Anybody could have taken that. I wonder how bad it would hurt me to just declare war again. Like, I know we're dependable now. We'd probably go to untrustworthy. But it might be worth it. It might be worth it. So coming back up to Volatile here, I'm just not super confident that they aren't going to attack us to try to prevent us from recruiting this army. That's what I would do. Even though it's a tough battle for them, because we do have a pretty sizable garrison here. What is it, 10? Some of them are plebs, though. Some of them are leves, so it's not like that's an elite force by any means. So it would be 11, including the general, against their 16, which is a regular army, not just a bunch of civilians trying to defend their city. So if it were me, I would attack this to prevent them from recruiting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some mercenaries to this force. And I do like Italian cavalry, especially compared to the stuff that we normally have available. So I'm going to take both of them to bring this force up to, I guess the garrison would then be 13 if we were to fight. That's a battle that I think I might be able to win if they attacked me. It would be close, but I think we could potentially pull it off. So the AI might be a little bit less likely to attack us. I'm just worried they're going to attack, they win, we lose all the money we put into recruiting these guys. I mean, yeah, we don't get charged the upkeep because we never got them, but all the money I spent actually recruiting them is gone. And that would really hurt us. So I think that makes us a little bit safer, and these are units I could probably use in there anyways. I could add the Italian spears too, but honestly I don't think I will. Though the upkeep on them is not that bad. You know what, I'm going to do it again just as a deterrent, and next turn I'll cut them loose. Luckily, that diplomacy went through and we had a lot of money to work with, because if we didn't, a lot of these moves would not work. I can't secure anybody's loyalty, which is a shame. Though it looks like everybody's loyalty went up, and nobody has a -5 penalty for that one guy. So it looks like we are safe taking those upgrades. For the patrician, that is. So the question then becomes, do I want to backstab this faction? And I think the answer is yes. I'm almost tempted to just send both and overrun it right now. What kind of garrison do you have again? 10. The Scutarii are pretty damn good. Iberian swordsmen are also solid. Tribesmen are garbage. They're just plebs, basically. Skirmishers are decent. But I have twice as many units. Granted, we are in a little bit of rough shape. Oh, right. This guy. Just do that, I guess. Because I could start marching them here. They would be able to take that because there's nobody guarding it. So in one turn... Well, it would be next turn. But next turn I'd be able to take both of their walled cities. And that would just leave them with Numantia up here. It's a pretty sizable blow. Only other concern is this army could then come down here and attack us, and we wouldn't have a garrison to defend it. It would just be the army that took it, which is not a very strong army. We could rely on more mercenaries. I might have to. No point taking them now. But what we could do is force march this army to the border. They would still get replenishment this turn, and then the next turn they'd be able to go back to regular stance and attack. They can't take it straight away because they don't have artillery. But the garrison and the guy here would not be able to recruit or replenish. So as soon as we built ladders, they would basically just be able to climb over the wall and raise a flag, and we win. You guys would have to actually fight a decent battle here, but it's definitely a battle that we could win. And so long as nobody from here attacks us, or they don't have an army on their way south, we should be fine. This is very aggressive, but it could turn the tide in Hispania. So I think we're going to do it. You guys came here to see interesting gameplay, though I've been talking more than actually doing that. So we're going to go for it. You march out that way. You know what? I could wait a turn. I think that's what we're going to do. Let's give them one more turn of replenishment. Then next turn we attack here. We attack there. It takes one turn for them to build the equipment that we need. And then the following turn after that we hit, or we take both. That also lets me scout a little bit better with the spy. And it makes them less likely to try to build up an army here, because they don't think that we're at war. As kind of messed up as that is. Right, so I still need to upgrade over here. Let's do that. I don't remember what was here. I think it was grain pits, but I could be wrong. Sure, we'll just do a villa. Okay, I think we're done here. I have disbanded a couple more mercenary units from this. Basically, I just kept what I thought would be enough to deter that navy from attacking here. Next turn, when we're able to recruit, I will start adding regular Roman units to it and slowly supplanting the mercenaries until we don't need them anymore. Though the citizen cav I might keep around because, again, our equites kind of suck. I hope that we've provided a large enough deterrent to be attacked, or from being attacked over here, so that we can get these guys recruited and then I can get rid of the Italian spearmen. This should be able to hold itself against that army, though I'm less inclined to believe that now that I see the garrison. We might lose Milan. That's concerning. We'll see. We'll see. It does have artillery and walls, at the very least. And then we've set ourselves up for a very nice backstab over here. And then you guys are poised to attack next turn as well. Or maybe, I guess we'll see. Alright, anyways, time to advance. Right, we have some political machinations happening. So, one of the other parties has organized a banquet in the capital threatening our hegemony. How do we react? I think attending has worked good for us in the past. We basically show up and like kind of strut around and everybody's like, oh wow, they're so cool. Rather than kind of getting upset about it and acting petty. So we're going to attend. Milan has come under siege, so we will need to do something about that. But they didn't actively assault it because they didn't have artillery, so we'll have to see if we can break the siege. We've been sabotaged, hidden agents exposed, etc, etc. Alright, time to make some moves. Interestingly, the Punic League took this because it didn't have a garrison, so I don't even need to declare war to take this. We can just walk right in, because we were already at war with them. I will have to build artillery. Oh wait, no, I don't, because I have ladders already. So I can just assault this. They have like 500 people guarding it. Yeah, we'll just take it. Alright, so I totally did not intend to fight this. We were just going to auto-resolve it because it was a shoe-in victory. But unfortunately, I misclicked and did not quick save. So we're going to fight this. I have no choice. And see what happens. I'm going to be a little bit aggressive here because they really don't have much, if anything, guarding the place. So I'll be a lot more casual with my attacks than I typically would be. And we'll just kind of see how it plays out. Again, they have like 6 units of 20 men or something. So it's really just a matter of getting into the place and less so a matter of actually winning the fight once we do. So all of these guys are going to go burn the gate. All of you guys are going to climb the walls. We'll have to take the artillery, or kill the artillery. They only have 1 scorpion, so it's not going to do a lot, but it will still hurt a little bit. And we should be able to dispatch those guys, you know, again, really, really easily. They do have oil there, though, so we'll want to be careful, but we should be able to torch this pretty quickly. And they're going to be hard-pressed to do much damage to us as we take it. You guys could also go skirmish, I guess. I don't know what you would do. Go attack them or something, I don't know. Just, we'll get them close by so that they can either jump on the ladders or run through the gate as soon as that's available. 35% on that. Let's have you guys, as soon as you get up there, attack the artillery. You can start attacking the javelin men. You are going to attack the javelin men as well. And actually, no. Well, maybe. Let's see what these guys do. They might try to come up here. But I also want somebody to take the gate, if at all possible. Though it's about to be destroyed anyways. We still should take it so that the towers don't continue, you know, shooting us. Why don't you guys march down there and attack? You guys should be killing them. How's this doing? 93? Okay, they're coming down the stairs. We're rushing through. Here comes the cavalry. They could cause some damage to us here just because we're funneling through a very narrow choke point in those stairs. But, you know, what are you going to do? Alright, can you run through there now? Sweet. You guys, push through into here and just see what kind of trouble you can cause. And why don't you guys head downstairs? You should be fighting something. Doesn't really matter what, just make sure you're fighting. And I'll keep the general back so we don't risk losing him. God, you guys are getting shredded. The Rorari are just garbage. I need to replace them. So, Hastati, come over here, please. Because they're going to lose that fight if you don't. And, whoops. You guys need to be attacking there. Why don't you, doesn't matter. It's about over. Get behind them and then attack. It's very simple. You guys should be down here too. I don't know why you're just standing there. Okay. It's almost over, but yeah, you guys got slaughtered. So useless. Okay, with that done, let's take everybody and send them over there. Carthaginian hoplites are the only thing that's left. With the exception of the navy, or no, these are just artillery. They might have a general or somebody hiding back here at one of the other capture points, so we'll have to see about that. Alright, so they do have skirmishers running around here still, so we will need to obviously deal with that. I have called the general in so he can help with that, because obviously being mounted is kind of a bonus when you're trying to run stuff down. But we got to be careful because he's not very good in the fight. Oh, hello. Those are Carthaginian hoplites. The Rorari will not win that fight. So can I get you guys to deal with it? They have a lot more left than I thought they would. Let's see if we can cut them off. You got some of them. Mr. General, please get over here. You guys are way too far behind. That's kind of concerning. Hopefully they'll just hold right here. It looks like they're not too keen on rushing forward. Maybe not. I don't know what they're doing. They look to be holding now. That's fine. These guys will just completely overrun them. Why don't you push past them in one direction, you push past in the other, and the rest will just hit them head on. Or I guess we'll just attack them in the rear, since they decided to do that. General, go after them, please. We don't need you sitting still fighting. You guys attack there, attack there. Why don't you come after somebody? Go on, get him. It's your chance for some experience. I'll even let you buff your own unit, just so you're a little bit better off. We'll give you some help too. You guys can join the melee, I guess. God, these hoplites are doing pretty impressively, I gotta say. They are completely surrounded and they are still hanging in there. I believe this is the last unit right here. I've asked the levies to just skirmish with them. Okay, there we go. Finally over. Alright, so that was not as efficient as I would have liked. The auto-resolve probably would have been better there. Though, I guess I don't know that for sure. However, we did lose a unit of Rorari. All in all, we lost just under 600 men. So, we definitely opened ourselves up to being attacked by the Arverni, who are just one settlement over. So, let's just occupy this. Actually, looting it might be smarter. Because if we can't hold it, I don't really care what the public order looks like. Yeah, I'll take the money. Cool. New military tradition, and we can... Yeah, I was going to say we can just walk right in after that. Let's go ahead and take that tradition. Can we recruit anything here? No. Can we hire mercenaries? Yes. Probably should. Because, again, the enemy's right there and they do have an army there. What are you going to do with 4 units, I wonder? Okay, so they do have a decent force there. That's not really much of a threat. That could be. That certainly could be. Oh, and you do have a little army here. Well, you had a sizable garrison, right? What we could do is actually march out there and attack him. He either has to retreat or the garrison gets pulled out with him and we can fight the battle outside the city and then just walk right in afterward. So that's a thought. Of course, we aren't at war with them yet, so we'd have to declare war to do that. Do I even want to bother repairing this? Can you move at all? No. That's a bummer. What I was considering doing is making them stand just outside. Then if the enemy attacks, I can retreat. But I can't move them, so I have no option but to sit there. Can you guys get far enough to attack that? Not this turn. But I think it is worth sailing out there. On the move. We must rest. Next turn we'll have them take this, and if they delay in attacking us, eventually we'll be able to get this legion involved in that fight as well. The only concern I have now is a potential rebellion here, but it looks like public order actually is not that bad. What can I do to make this better? Punic culture is still increasing, which is interesting. And cultural differences and instability are the main issues, so both of those will continue to drop over time, especially if Latin culture continues to increase at the rate that it is. And the provincial instability is going to go away at -1 per turn regardless, unless of course somebody takes a settlement here or something. Excuse me, what we can do to help that though is invest in that. It's going to take a while, but that will boost culture and public order, so I think it's worth it. The alternative is just a flat public order thing here, but this is more expensive, and that's only going to help the public order. It's not going to help the culture thing. I got to be careful though, because somebody could walk right in and take this. Like, we have a garrison, but we've seen, again, this happen before where somebody just sails straight in. And I guess it might be worth investing in... What did I have here before? Probably a fishing village? I don't remember, if I'm being honest. I'm just going to do a harbor. I like money. So the question is, are we going to go ahead and attack now? I think so. I think we're going to do it. Let's declare war. I'll have to see how that affects my diplomacy. Yeah, see, I would have had to wait 10 turns. Well, 8 now, because we waited a couple. But I'm going to do it. We're dependable now. We go to untrustworthy, so that sucks. But we're not conducting any diplomacy, so I don't think it will matter that much. It looks like they will accept this fight, even though it really plays to my favor because we're fighting outside the town. So let's quick save. We'll wrap up this turn and call it a day. Alright, off we go. So we're just going to march forward. You guys are not doing a great job keeping pace. That's okay. We're going to march on up there. The reinforcements are coming in from behind, and my goal is to engage before they really have time to get set up in a proper formation. They do have a decent army. It's not completely trash units. The Iberian swordsmen are very solid. The tribesmen aren't going to be able to do a whole lot, but the swordsmen are good. And their slingers are... Actually, I don't know if they have any slingers. They have skirmishers. Their slingers are very good, but I don't know if they have any. So we'll have to see on that. And then they do have a bit of cavalry. Whoa, hold on. Where are you guys going? Okay, I guess you're set up right there. That's fine. Let's move a little bit faster. In fact, you guys are taking way too long, so... I don't know why... Normally they'll move in formation. I guess I kind of screwed that up somehow. So I think what I'm going to do while I wait for the rest of my army to get here is you guys are going to go into flaming shot mode and just start throwing some flaming javelins at that noble cav. Cavalry is especially susceptible to javelins, and since this is their general unit, if we can kind of trim them down a little bit or even get lucky and snipe him out of there, then it might work to our favor. If we can't catch him though, we'll just throw some javelins into these guys. Or not. Okay, well, they outpaced us, so reform our lines, please. And you know what, speaking of reforming our lines, why don't we adjust our formation to face them properly? That's kind of a weird setup, but okay. It seems to default to that, and I'm not quite sure why. Because when I set the formation, they were all in a perfect line, but whatever. And it looks like they did kind of get set up. So much for that plan, right? But anyways, let's move forward. And what we're going to do is pretty similar to what we did in the first battle we fought today, where the Triari are just going to march themselves straight into the enemy and be a giant anvil that we can hammer everything against. Gotta be careful though, because the Iberian swordsmen are a little bit faster than them and could maneuver in such a way that might cause problems. I feel like we're getting a little bit too close here. You guys might want to back off a little. Actually, go ahead and break off to the sides. Let's see. Triari, I need the 4 of you to basically form a giant wall right there. That's an interesting choice. You guys are still moving. Stop doing that. Okay, there we go. You guys are off. Let's get you moving to here or so. You guys can move to there. Again, putting all the sword infantry on the flanks where they can move a little bit faster and get into the gaps or, you know, get around people and cause problems. The issue is the Triari are probably going to get outrun, and that might cause problems for us. We'll see. What are you guys going to do, Mr. General there? I'm going to split my forces up. And if they continue to sit out here, we're going to hit them from one direction with the cavalry and then from another direction with the other unit. Alright, Hastati, start turning that corner. Why don't you guys punch straight through? You keep going. You guys have engaged. I want you to kind of close ranks around them. Don't do that. You guys need to move up. You guys need to start turning the corner. I don't know why you stopped. You're not even in the fight. Actually, do that. You might have a chance of catching them. You guys getting back here. You guys need to move. So many people that I have to order around. Just pile in, pile in, pile in. See what happens. You guys are like way out of the fight now. I'll take you two and put you there. You guys can go here. I didn't want you to stop. Why are you just standing there? Attack them. Don't let them off the battlefield. I like how they're just like standing right next to them, not doing anything. I wish the friendly AI was a little bit better about that. And because he is the only unit that actually deployed... Why are you under attack now? Okay. Because the enemy general is the only unit that actually deployed in this battle, the rest was a garrison that reinforced. We don't need to worry about running them down because anybody that gets away will just go right into the garrison that we crush on the following turn. Go on, get in there. Pile in. I mean, we might still run them down, but we don't necessarily have to worry about it. Not in the same way. Okay, there's our victory. I'll probably just end it here. Alright, so that army is dispatched. Of course, there is, again, some left of the garrison, this reinforcing army, though not much. We'll go ahead and release the captives. I'll take the extra 400 gold or whatever. And you guys should now be able to just attack this and pretty much walk right in. So, we'll auto-resolve that. Doesn't matter what we do, I'll just do a balanced stance. But yeah, if the AI is dumb enough to stand an army right outside the town, you should probably take advantage like I did there. It just makes it a lot easier because then you don't have to assault the whole army with a wall in the way. You can fight them out in the field and then walk into an undefended city immediately after. Cool. So our dictator just ranked up. Though dictator is probably not a great term for him at this stage because technically we are still Republican Rome. But he is, you know, the faction leader. I'm going to go ahead and take the additional melee defense and campaign movement here. Because campaign movement is absolutely critical. Now that we've maxed that out, I can focus on other things like reducing upkeep. Kartuba, this whole place needs an overhaul. Public order is going to be actually not that bad. So we have the minus 20 from conquest, which means this will drop to minus 27 next turn. But then on the following turn, the public order change will only be minus 7. Which isn't too bad at all. And through buildings and stuff, we can definitely mitigate that. What can you do for me here? Yeah, sabotage that army if you don't mind. Because they're probably the biggest threat to me on the board right now. Over here. She failed. Okay. Oh well. They might not move though, because I think these guys are at war with them. I don't know for sure, but this is a place I would like to take. I just don't really have the ability to... You know what? It might be worth doing just because there's no garrison there right now, and there might not be one for a while. So this army is there, but it's in shambles. So next turn, that is in attack range, and I might just go for it so that they're no longer a threat. Obviously, public order here is going to be kind of an issue, and it will be there too. But we'll see what we can do. I've got to watch these guys as well. And of course, this is kind of an issue. I have to watch these guys. They could attack either one of these if I take this there. I was hoping what I could do is just shift left so you guys attack that and hold it. You guys come over here and hold this, and then these guys can leave that and attack here. But then this is opened up. And the Arverni again are a thorn in my side. Over here, you guys are holding that down so that the Syracusians can't take it back. I should probably do a bit of recruiting now. I'm going to start with Hastati because they're relatively inexpensive and I can get a lot of them. So next turn I'll disband probably all of the infantry here and just keep these guys. In fact, I'm only going to do 4. But I'll probably hang on to the cavalry, maybe even permanently, as just a part of that legion. But I shall see. I can also convert this. That'll give us a garrison in 3 turns, and I should do the same here. Because again, we won't get the garrisons so long as they're the wrong culture type. That can be a grain pit. Gotta be careful about my spending, though. You need to continue marching north. Yeah, get as far up there as you can. Let's go right here. And if we think it's worth it, we'll cross into enemy territory. Because they're not replenishing anyways. That might force them to besiege this. Which I'd prefer they didn't. I'd rather... Or, sorry, assault it. They might assault it seeing this army coming. But I need to make sure that this army is in a position where they can break that siege if they decide not to assault it next turn, or at the end of this turn. If they do assault it, I'll take Junia and then probably attack them while they're pinned in there. But with this legion here and this one getting built up, we are in pretty good shape, I think, to counterattack and defeat them on this front. And then, of course, we have the other front we have to worry about. So give me some Triari. I guess we'll take some Velites. I can't get artillery here, unfortunately. I need to be up in that province. But because they took Junia, I can't just walk across the border and get it. So we'll start with that. I could also get some auxiliary Italian cavalry to replace the mercenary ones. It's the same unit, it's just cheaper. Like a lot cheaper. Like a third of the amount. You guys, I think, are similar, but more attack focused. They look identical in terms of portrait, but that doesn't mean much. These guys have more health. Are they just better? It kind of looks like they're just better. They have a little bit less melee defense, but they have more health and morale and more melee attack. So maybe these guys are the unit I should be taking. We also have the shock cavalry version, so we'll have to see what is worth doing there. And I'll need some of you as well. Let's take them because we for sure want Velites. I'm going to do 3. That gives me 2 more slots for cavalry and potentially 4 slots. Well, 4 slots for cavalry regardless, but 2 more, and then I can decide whether I keep these or replace them. And then that's a full legion ready to fight. Not one of these like half reserve legions or whatever. You're just kind of come over here so I can get a better idea of what their movements are. That'll let me see what's going on this way and this way. I think that's it. What can you do? Sure, 2 cunning. And network, no. What's the one that helps with theft? Yeah, do that one. Right, I think that's where we'll end the episode. I am going to take care of maybe any loose ends that are still remaining in this turn, but, you know, I'm not going to fight a battle or anything. And then advance the turn so that we can pick up with a fresh one in the next episode. I'm going to try to move this a little bit quicker, because I know you guys probably don't enjoy sitting here watching me decide like what building upgrades to take. So I'm going to do sort of what I did in the Attila playthrough, where I will handle a lot of that stuff off camera, whether it be at the start of the turn and then cut that out, or if I just do it at the end of the episode or before I start recording. But yeah, we have a lot of stuff happening. This has become a very interesting war. I thought it was going to be, you know, one faction down and then we move on to the next one, but things got very hectic very fast. Hopefully that's making for interesting videos though. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I had a great time playing some Total War Rome 2 with you, and I look forward to seeing you guys back here for the next episode.